Michelle Wee second on the way.
Steve Shepsley bombed that drive, just had 122 yards. Played a little 3/4 9-iron. What a fantastic shot.
Michelle Wee leads a double life. For most schoolchildren, dreams of international fame and fortune would be a classroom fantasy, but for Michelle, it's already becoming reality. As a CNN sports anchor, I'd been aware of Michelle Wee for several years, but meeting her and seeing her swing up close was a humbling experience. At the age of just 15, this 6-foot-tall Honolulu-born golfer hits the ball up to 300 yards. Already coached by the renowned David Ledbetter, she warms up in bare feet, on cushions, and with a 4-iron.
Michelle, what goes through your mind when you're on the tee? What do you think when you step up and address the ball?
In a tournament?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't really think much. It's just so fast. You don't really have time to think. It's just luck and hit, I guess.
Do you mentally go through any sort of routine, or do you just get up and go for it?
Well, the thing that I learned, while playing a lot of tournaments is that you can never really think about negative thoughts like, oh, I can't go right, there's a water hazard there, because you would definitely hook it. So, just don't think.
Michelle first hit the headlines as a 10-year-old girl.
And this golf pro, Casey Nakama, told us about this 10-year-old who could hit the ball 260 yards or so straight as an arrow, and she was 5'7". So that's what piqued our interest. She's 5'7", she's 10 years old, she hits the ball 260-something yards. Well, we have to see her.
Right away, Honolulu Advertiser's sports editor Curtis Maruyama knew she was something very special.
So in the year 2000, when she was only 10, that's when we first put her on our front page out there, and then we have a pretty good headline which says "Following in Tiger's Tracks."
Michelle was soon making tracks of her own, playing against professional women on the LPGA Tour at the age of 12. A year later, she became the youngest ever winner of the US Women's Amateur Public Links Championship. And last year, aged just 14, she came fourth in a women's major championship.
I was playing in the last group in the Craft Visco with Annika for the first time. And I was like, is this a dream or is this real? I was hitting myself on the head to see if it was real or not. Sometimes, I've been so fortunate and so lucky, surprised where I am. And, it feels like a dream, but it's not. So it's really cool.
The dream had only just started. Her really big break came when she was given a sponsor's exemption to play against the men of the PGA Tour at the Sony Open in Hawaii. She walked alongside the greats like South Africa's Ernie Els.
Shot.
This young woman, let me rather say this young girl, beat 62 of the best professional men golfers in the world, something that I'd never thought I would ever see in my life.
An honour at an international awards ceremony soon followed, and she was feted as a cover girl by glossy magazines.
Somebody who really deserves it, Michelle Wee.
I stood next to her and I had to put the big iron briefcase there so I could look her eye to eye because, she's much taller than me. She's a very sweet girl.
I want to thank all the Academy members for giving me this. And I want to thank my parents. I love you. And thank you.
She's actually a phenomenon. And she could possibly one day get into the Masters. And I think that would be just the ultimate. To have a woman play at Augusta.
This is, without doubt, one of the biggest stories in world sport at the moment.
The editorial director of the Sport Business Group, Kevin Roberts, is reminded of a young Tiger Woods.
There's everything to play for Michelle Wie at the moment. Every time she turns up in a tournament, it boosts sponsorship income, it boosts television ratings, because even people who are not interested at all in golf, and they do exist out there, will watch a tournament just to see how she's getting on. She's the name on everybody's lips right now.
To date, she would have won $250,000 in prize money, but as an amateur, she's never seen a cent. Next month, she'll play in the John Deere Classic in Illinois. Her inclusion is a boon for a tournament that traditionally suffers from a lack of exposure. Michelle has accepted the invitation because it might create the chance of playing in a men's major at the home of golf, the British Open at St Andrews.
What are your goals and ambitions?
Well, you know, the thing that I want to do the most is play the Masters. You know, I'm really working hard to do that, and just to play with the guys. I mean, it'd be so great to do that. You know, I wanted to do it ever since I was young, so hopefully I can do it someday.
Why the Masters? Is it because it's Augusta and it's the tradition and the history, or is it because you're going to rewrite the rules if you play there?
Well, I mean, I think it's a lot of combination of things, like the first time I wanted to play in the Masters is because that was the first golf tournament I ever saw on TV, and I was like, wow, I want to play there. I mean, it wasn't, I didn't even know it was a men's golf tournament, or like no woman had ever played there before. It was just like, wow, I want to play there. But as I got older and knew more about the golf course, I mean, it's pretty cool that no woman ever played there before, and that'd be great. And you know, there isn't any woman that is in the golf club, so I think it'd be great if I played there. And, you know, I just like to go against the rules a little bit.
For the moment, her efforts to realise that ambition will inspire worldwide debate on the merits of such a bid. Should she actually achieve it, then Michelle Wie will not only be known as Hawaii's greatest export, but she'll be a global superstar too.
Given everything that she's achieved already, it's easy to forget that Michelle is still just a schoolgirl. And after the break, I'll join her in a very different environment, the classroom. And guess what? She's a high achiever there too.